Hey team, I wanted to share with you a really quick resource when you're talking with a student and they're sharing that they don't know what to do and they're kind of at a crossroads. There are two resources that we have for moments like this, and this is actually what defines a friend and a mentor, right? Somebody who wants to give advice and somebody who is ministering to someone. So the first is called the KAIROS circle, and I will send you guys a link as well so you can check out what the KAIROS circle looks like. But essentially, it's a circle, right? And it represents the divine intervention of God in somebody's life where they need to make a choice, right? And so it's either a positive or a negative event. It is never neutral. But there's a line at the top that symbolizes chronos or chronological time. And then the circle, again, symbolizes that divine intervention from God, where he's coming in to essentially set things right. And so there are 6 steps within that. And walking through that, it looks like observing the facts of the situation, reflecting on how you feel about the situation, right? So facts, then feelings. And then third, discussing it with God, yourself, and others that are trusted. And on the circle, right after that third step leading to the fourth, there is an arrow, because a lot of times people get stuck. They say, well, I talked about it. I'm over it. I'm good. And here's the reality. Talking about it oftentimes is not enough. And so especially with teenagers, that can come up like, I talked about it. I think I'm good now. No. So that third to fourth step, that arrow that leads you to the next part, is a reminder that now you need to plan. You need to come up with a plan about what you're going to do. And the fifth step is accountability, coming up with something that you know you need to do and sharing it with somebody to keep you accountable. And then after that is to act on it, to actually do something about it. Now, secondly, another step to walk a student through, right, especially in the decision making, right, is called ACIP, 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 okay? And it stands for alternatives, consequences, information, and plan, right? Alternatives, consequences, information, and plan. So this is a little bit more of the nitty gritty for the planning. So you can observe the situation, you can reflect on how you feel, and you can talk about it. But in that talking about it to that plan stage, that arrow that we're talking about is really ACIP. And so at this point, here's an example. A student comes to you and says, I really want to join the football team. And it's going to be my last year in high school. I'm going to be a senior. I want to be on the football team, but it would require me to miss church every Sunday. That's kind of crazy, right? But the truth is that we've had students who have shared realities like that. I want to do this, but it would mean that I have to compromise church. Okay. On the church side, as church leaders, right, we would say, well, don't do that. But at the same time, students have to come up with their decisions on their own. So you talk about alternatives. Okay, you want to be on the football team. So if you're not on the football team, is there something else that you could do this year? Well, if I'm not on the football team, I could be more involved in student leadership at our church. Okay, there's an alternative, right? So we have to make a decision. What are all the options, essentially? What are all the alternatives that are available? And then second is the consequences. Now, the word consequences gets a bad rap because we think of negative consequences, but here's the thing, there are positive consequences of our actions. And so what are the negative and positive consequences, right? So the pros and the cons of each alternative. And following that, what's the information around it? What are the things that you know about it? For example, knowing that the football team would be meeting every Sunday while we're in church, or knowing that if you decide to do student leadership, it's every Wednesday, right? More information, the type of people you'd be around, how much it costs to do the football team, all of these things, right? So you're helping students make informed decisions by basically weighing the pros and cons, seeing all the alternatives and options, and then also taking in all the information before making a plan. So then lastly, that P is for plan. All right, so if I do this, this is my path. If I do this, this is my path. Let's make a decision together, an informed decision that helps them prepare well for their future. Because as a reminder, as church leaders, we are not just there to preach or teach or hold a Bible study, but what Jesus did, which is to disciple them into real life. And discipling looks like helping a young person open a bank account because their parents aren't around, or teaching them how to make decisions because nobody else has. And so this is just a little bit about how we can mentor our students with a holistic heart, caring for all that they go through and helping them walk through it. So I hope this has been meaningful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks.